Hit it, Phil.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Can it be the breeze that fills the trees with rare and magic perfume? Oh, no, it isn't the breeze, it's Jackson time. La-da-da-da.
Well, hello again. This is Buck Benny speaking. It's 2026. Welcome to our summer of guest shots, our guest shot summer. I think you're going to enjoy this. We have Jack Benny appearing on lots of different shows. OTR Rob is going to have a big part of this. I'm presenting these shows. Unfortunately, OTR Rob passed away a while back, and but we're lucky we have all these that he presented, and so I want to bring these. I like to feature Rob whenever I can. The ones that Rob doesn't present, I'll be presenting, and we'll just kind of try and present them chronologically. This is the earliest one I know of, I think. It's 1935. This is a huge one to start off with. It's the grand opening of the NBC studios, radio studios anyway, in Hollywood. And so it's December 7th, 1935, a half decade before December 7th would be famous for, of course, being the day that Pearl Harbor is attacked and things. But an important December the 7th, nonetheless. We are going to have with us, I'm going to present Jack Benny's piece because it falls later in the program. The program is like 2.5 hours long. So because it was going to be later on, I'm bringing that up front. So those of you who just want to listen to the Jack Benny piece can do that. If you'd like to listen to this whole historical program, it's great. It's got Eddie Cantor and Al Jolson and Bing Crosby. Did I've read Skelton? I might have read Skelton on there. I think it said Eddie Cantor. And who else? Just a bunch of people. Bing Crosby, I think I mentioned. Anyway, just a lot of the big names in radio. NBC was the studio, kind of like CBS was in television. NBC was in radio, so it was that huge and just the dominant radio network. So it's pretty cool that they're opening this up. It's cool that we have this existing so early. Mary Livingston's on here with Jack. And Don Wilson does a lot of the announcing throughout. So it's well represented with our Jack Benny cast and of characters. I hope you're going to enjoy this one. We'll continue, like I say, to bring these throughout the summer. And I hope you're going to have a great summer. Enjoy this one. And we will see you next time for more guest appearances of Jack Benny on so many shows like the Bing Crosby shows and the Bob Hope shows and the Command performances and so many things that Jack does over the years. We'll start with early years and then work our way through to the later years. So enjoy. I think I've got one of the biggest collections of Jack's guest stars anywhere, guest starring appearances. So we'll see about that and see if you guys enjoy them. And of course, in the fall, we'll start up one of the best seasons ever for our podcast. It'll be where I always call it the year of Phil Harris because it's when Phil Harris first joins the Jack Benny show. We'll have the episodes where Phil Harris in his last year of the radio show, Phil Harris in the first year of his getting his own radio show. So there's just a lot of things that Phil Harris, there's lots of beginnings and endings for Phil that same year, at least the anniversary year of all those years. So enjoy that when we bring it in the fall. But until then, enjoy our summer, and we will bring you a lot of other shows as well. So I'm glad you folks are still tuning in. We'll go from there. Thanks so much. Bye-bye. Oh, also, make sure you tune in to our YouTube channel over there. Just search for Buck Benny over on YouTube, and you'll find me. At Buck Benny is what you can search for. And we bring you Jack Benny shows, Jack Benny television shows on Thursdays. We bring you our Throwback Thursday, which we're spending the summer with Jack and Mary going on their trip through Europe, and that's always a lot of fun. Going to England, going to France, going to Italy, Spain, just all over the place. First he gets his passport. That's the one I just aired. And then on Sundays, we're entering 1962, I think. And so we have the episodes from 1962 that we're bringing you weekly, chronologically. And then on Saturdays, we have the Jack Benny specials, kind of like what we're doing here with radio, but we're doing that with television, where we present any special appearances he did, plus any of his own specials. So enjoy that, and we'll
Ladies
see
and
you there
gentlemen,
as
the
well.
next great star is the king of good fellows. I know because I work with him. A man whose laughs have gone around the world so many times that it has placed him tops in the list of radio comedians. And to add to that, he makes pictures for Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer that have made him one of the outstanding stars of the screen also. Just in case there's any question in your mind as to whom we refer, Jack Benny is the name. We're going to take you now to his dressing room at the Paramount Theater in Los Angeles. Hello down there, Jack. Are you listening?
Thank you, Don. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jack Benny coming to you from his dressing room at the Paramount Theater in Los Angeles, where I have just finished my third show, making it 3 down and 2 to go. Isn't it strange, folks? I've just given a performance to approximately 4,000 people in a magnificent auditorium covering a square block. And now, here I am in a little dressing room, hardly large enough for 4 people, yet able to talk to millions. That, ladies and gentlemen, is great progress brought about through the medium of radio. I remember only a few years ago when I sat in a dressing room and couldn't find anyone to talk to. And it wasn't so many years ago that Hollywood was like my dressing room, inhabited by very few people. In fact, it was part of a desert. And by virtue of these progressive mediums, first talking pictures and now radio, the desert has gone cosmopolitan. It is today the center and capital of the entire amusement world, filled with glamorous personalities and talent of every description from the 4 corners of the world. And the National Broadcasting Company, fully realizing this fact, are today proving their recognition by the inauguration of a new modern building, a sister to Radio City, fully equipped with all modern facilities to broadcast these great talents to all parts of the world. Hollywood and the entire county of Los Angeles should feel proud and happy over their good fortune in this progressive step taken by NBC. It is further proof that not only is Hollywood becoming the dominating center of the world in the production of motion pictures, but it is likewise becoming equally as great a radio center, sharing its national broadcast with radio's other great center, New York City. The evolution of entertainment through the mechanical processes, both in pictures and radio, is still dependent, however, upon human beings, with talent, of course.
That lets me out, Jack.
Quiet. That was Mary, folks. Pardon us. And because these great talents migrated to Hollywood, the National Broadcasting Company has found Hollywood an important source of valuable radio entertainment. In Hollywood, you will find internationally famous writers, directors, actors, and engineers from all parts of the world, representing their various arts and countries merged into one busy organization, inspired by these 2 great mediums, motion pictures and now radio, for the purpose of entertaining the entire world. To the National Broadcasting Company, to their president, M.H. Aylesworth, to Richard Patterson, John Royal, Niles Tremel, John Gilman, John W. Swallow, and O.B. Hanson, a great deal of credit is due for the opening of this magnificent building, which will inspire the development of more programs of greater quality and encourage these great Hollywood personalities to come to radio, who heretofore have not been able to do so because of the lack of facilities and the inability to leave Hollywood because of their obligations to pictures. And now they will be able to do both. The only other thing I can say right now is good luck. Mary, is there something you want to say?
Do I? I've been working on this all night.
What?
My poem.
Funny, I felt that. Huh? Well, go ahead, read it. Has it something to do with the occasion, then?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes.
well, of course. Go ahead.
All right. A bunch of the boys were whooping it up at the Malumet Saloon.
I thought so.
A kid sat there at the radio getting a ragtime tune. The songs and witty sayings floated through the air. Was it from Jack Benny? We don't know and we don't care.
Wow.
Under the spreading chestnut tree, the radio writer sits, picking out the chestnuts for comedians and wits. The Smith, a mighty manatee, but not as good as NBC.
That's it.
NBC, NBC, NBCDEFG, Stanford, Stanford, rah, rah, rah. Was that all right, Jack?
Yes, Mary, but NBC is opening tonight, not Stamford.
It's a fine time to tell me.
Good night, folks. Thank you, Jack Benny. We return you now to NBC's Hollywood Studios.
Jack Benny, ladies and gentlemen, who delivered the second part of Will Hay's speech. And now a surprise. I've seen the audience tonight, a man I insist should come up here on the stage.
Signori, monsieur et madame, ladies and gentlemen, the National Broadcasting Company presents a program to dedicate its new studios in Hollywood is vibrantly ablaze tonight with its first big radio premiere. For years, Hollywood has been noted for its glamorous first night. Surely this dedication tonight of the opening of the new and greater NBC Hollywood will be written creditably among the pages of important Hollywood history. To lend their goodwill in helping to dedicate the new NBC Hollywood, thousands have come to visit these studios tonight. Thousands more will pass through its portals in the days and years to come. Here in this beautiful auditorium studio and on this large stage are gathered the nation's favorite names of radio, screen, and stage. Other famous entertainers join us later during the program from Baltimore, New York, Chicago, even from London, England, and from Honolulu, Hawaii. Most certainly this is a gala event, a Hollywood premiere that will not soon be forgotten. In the minds and hearts of many noted persons tonight, it may mean more than the commemoration of a new building of broadcasting studios. It may mean to them a monument to radio and to Hollywood. Perhaps that is the real meaning of the new sign that so brilliantly shoots its lights toward western skies tonight. A sign that reads, NBC Hollywood. Our dedicatory program opens with Meredith Wilson, General Musical Director of the Western Division of the National Broadcasting Company, directing the orchestra in a favorite number dressed in the originality of Wilson's style, Dardanella.
In the realm of entertainment, no one man has ever been more prominent during the last 3 decades than that master showman who has more than once lent his very life, blood, and ingenuity to sustain, vitalize, and even help create a new and more substantial industry. Not because the true import of his name demands that we be gentle with superlatives, but because he himself is such a swell guy, we know he would become sincerely embarrassed at our words. So may we merely present him as the world's greatest entertainer, Al Jolson.
Thank you, Ken Carpenter. Those are very sweet words, and believe me, I'm grateful. Hey, I'm grateful to anybody that says nice things about me. And all you folks listening in, good evening. And at this time, I want to tell you, you're in for one of the greatest evening's entertainment you've ever listened to on the radio. But before I say anything about the show, well, honestly, I don't know how to begin. These studios are so beautiful, my hat is off to everyone connected with a national broadcasting company, especially to my good friend, Deke Aylesworth, the president of NBC. He is my friend, and I have every reason to believe he will remain my friend. I never asked him for a job, and he's never offered me one. Deke Aylesworth, what a man. I don't know how in the world one man can accomplish so many things. Get this, he's president of the National Broadcasting Company. He runs RKO and Radio City, too, and still he finds time to be nice and sweet to even the elevator boys in the building. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a man. And still, Mr. Aylesworth, I don't need a job. Unless, of course, you know a good sponsor. But, ladies and gentlemen, I've got to tell you about these new studios. I only wish I had enough adjectives and superlatives at my command to explain how really beautiful they are. Well, the moment I got here tonight, 2 footmen in gold braid uniforms came running out to my car. At first, I thought it was a finance company. Well, they helped me out of the car. They led me up to a great, big, polished marble entranceway, and a couple of other guys in uniforms helped me get inside the door. And mind you, they kept helping me, lift me up. And I hadn't had a drink all day. And what do you think? There was a line of page boys in pretty blue uniforms. They showed me all over the place. Big, beautiful auditorium studios. And what dressing rooms for the artists. Showers and everything. Right away, I took a bath. No, I'll waste water at my house. Well, I could go on like this all night, but I'm not going to. I'm going to get the show underway. And just to give you an idea what a terrific show we're going to have tonight, who do you think I'm going to call on first? One of the greatest singers of popular songs that ever lived. You know who I mean, Bing Crosby.
All dressed up, too, Al.
Boy, and is he dressed up in evening clothes.
Yay.
He looks like a plumber. Well, we got to laugh. I'm glad you came this way. If you'd worn a full-dress suit, you'd look like everybody else. At least you look different. Right this way, Bing, old boy.
Bad
and
but different.
Huh?
Bad but different.
Oh, no, you look cute. That Encino life, you know, out on the old ranch. Are you made up to work with your horses in the morning, or what is it, Bing?
Right, I'm going out in the morning.
All right. Bing just came over here. I want to tell you folks from the Paramount Studios, and he's going to sing Treasure Island. And he'll be accompanied by Victor Young and the orchestra. All right, Bing, Treasure Island.
I sailed away to Treasure Island, and my heart stood still when I landed on that silvery shore. We met that day on Treasure Island, and the smile you gave was the treasure I'd been craving for. Then came those moments of bliss in the shade of the sheltering palm. I still remember your kiss as you nestled within my arms. I looked for gold on Treasure Island, and I found that gold when you gave your golden love to me.
Sweetly, Victor. Lightly.
came those moments of bliss in the shade of the sheltering palm. I still remember your kiss as you nestled within my arms. My lips for gold on Treasure Island, and I found that gold when you gave your golden love to me. Bingy, that was great. How that guy sing a song? Well, there's a fella here alongside of me, folks, who talks all the time. And as Bing can sing, how this fella can talk. I'm going to give him a chance right now to do plenty of talking, because I want him to take over the show for a few moments while I say hello to Gladys Swathard. Say, she ain't bad either. Anyway, I want to mix with the crowds a little bit. Take it, Don. I'll be back later, folks. Don Wilson, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Al. Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here with us tonight in these new NBC Hollywood studios is a man whom America has loved for many years for his simple and homely philosophies in poetry. You've read his books, you've read his newspaper column of poems, and you've heard him on the air often. Soon you are to see and hear this famous fireside philosopher in a motion picture entitled You Can't Lose, which he is making now at the Universal Studios here in Hollywood. Of course, I mean Edgar Guest.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm most happy to appear for a few minutes upon this dedication program and to congratulate the National Broadcasting Company and its friendly staff at Hollywood entire upon the achievement of this new and serviceable building. I've never grown used to radio. I still don't believe it. I know that what I'm now saying may be heard around the nation in high place and low, in the library, at the hospital bed, by the rich, by the poor. But how it's done still baffles me. Heard you last night wireless to a friend from a ship in the Pacific Ocean last winter. I believe he must have done so, but it still seems incredible. On the evening referred to, I did speak at a microphone in Chicago. But that my voice should be heard on the ship at sea was, and still is, beyond my powers of imagination. This evening, as I stand in this studio, the marvel of it all is to me that by this magic of men and machinery, the artists who appear here are given the world for an audience. Up to very recent years, the great singers and the great talkers, the rulers and the princes, the statesmen and the champions in all lines of human endeavor were the privilege of only the very few. Only those heard Patty who could get within range of her voice. Only those heard the Gettysburg Address who could crowd around the beloved Lincoln as he spoke. Today, because of this thing called radio, men and women everywhere are ear witnesses to the world's great events. This station daily, long after we're gone, will be presenting to the enrichment of the home life of the entire nation the finest and the best of Hollywood, a thing of tubes and wires. And lo, the miracle of radio. The simple dial turning round searches the atmosphere for sound and captures from the silent air song, music, eloquence, and prayer. How strange this mystery of things which to mankind such pleasure brings, and day and night with cheer illumes the dreariest and loneliest rooms. I never turn the dials round, but what I feel a thrill profound. Fed by the magic microphones, the air takes up its freight of tones and carries safely every word till nationwide the voice is heard. A singer in New York appears, and distant California hears. Oh, happier world, where all may know this miracle of radio, these things of tubes and wires now grace the mansion and the cottage place, and rich and poor alike may share the golden harvest of the air.
Thank you, Edgar Guest. A great personality in music. A man who's known and famed for the distinctive and winning style he has created in music. Broadway and New York have known and loved him in person for many years. His music has been transmitted into almost every home in the country. Radio programs have been elevated by the excellence of his music. Now he is claimed by both radio and motion pictures, for even today he is busily engaged in creating scores and compositions for forthcoming RKO pictures. Nathaniel Shilkret. Mr. Shilkret conducts the orchestra in one of his own compositions, which he created with a lyric written by Dana Swees. Syncopated Love Song. A story that might have been lifted from the pages of some novel is represented in the charming young lady who is just coming to our microphone. Though born and reared on a farm, she kept an ideal, held an ambition in front of her as a guide, and these combined have carried her to tumultuous applause and the exciting clamor and fame found in the Metropolitan Opera House. Radio has claimed her as one of its brightest stars. Now the celluloids will soon be picturing her beauty and charm, as well as the appealing and unforgettable quality of her voice. They reintroduce Marion Talley. Her song, The Wren. Miss Talley. Every great profession has its deans, its outstanding representatives in the field. So it is also in the realm of tap dancing. Of course, when he say that he's the daddy of them all, you know right away that we're talking about Bill Robinson, the man who talks with his feet. Tell us one of those tap dancing stories of yours, Bill Robinson, and make it hot, Bill, make it hot.
Well, it looks like everybody's singing, so I just soak my bunions perfect, and I'll get in the forest and try to get out the fire. Copacetic, let's go to town.
that he was the one American entertainer who could, without question, successfully handle the comic and the pathetic, the ridiculous and the serious, all within the same show. Already Al has made us laugh tonight. Now he has something to the more serious side, a song which he loves above all others. Al, will you tell us about it yourself in your own inimitable way?
I'll be happy to, Don, happy to. Ladies and gentlemen, in reference to this song, The Cantor on the Sabbath, it's one of the very few songs I always will enjoy singing because, frankly, it's more than a song. It tells such a delightfully quaint story. It's a Jewish folk song. Naturally, it'll be difficult for me to sing it. You hear it? And now, Martin, will you play The Cantor on the Sabbath, please? Ich gekommen nach Hasen in a kleine Städtele zu davnen auf Schabes. Haben gekommen zu Herren die schönste Balabaten in Städtel. Einer a Schneider, der zweite a Schuster, und die dritte a Balagula. Die schönste Balabaten in Städtel. Macht der Schneider, hat er gedaven, als wichtig, mit der Pedesviatie, mit der Hammer und der Klappale, hat er gedaven. Ay, 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 ay. Mach die Balagula, hat er gedarven, hat er wichtig, mit der letzten Satie, mit dem Beischer schneit herein, hat er gedarven. Hat er gedarven.
All right, Al. Fine, thank you. On this occasion of great importance to the National Broadcasting Company, many of its chief executives have journeyed across the country to be present on this gala occasion. We are indeed very happy at this time to present to you Mr. Richard C. Patterson, Jr., Executive Vice President of the National Broadcasting Company. Mr. Patterson.
Beyond question, Hollywood is one of the great entertainment capitals of the world. Being in the entertainment business, is it not therefore proper that the National Broadcasting Company have its own specially equipped building in Hollywood, with the last word in radio, thus, as always, keeping up with the times? Radio broadcasting takes a new step forward tonight. The National Broadcasting Company has long contemplated the establishment of a permanent center of activity here, in the heart of America's great colony of showfolk. The interchange of talent, developed on the one hand through the motion picture art, and on the other by the radio broadcasting studio, has been a natural development. The concert hall, the stage, the screen, and radio now unite to bring us the great names of the present generation. Names that are not only bywords in American life, but through whose talent that life is made easier and happier. The aftermath of a busy day, a bit more enjoyable, and the world just a better place in which to live. The National Broadcasting Company has a real pride and accomplishment tonight. In these new Hollywood studios, we recognize a symbol. A symbol not only that radio has reached a new maturity, that the phrase coast-to-coast programs will have more concrete meaning than ever before, but a symbol of advance. Radio is going ahead, perfecting the best and the finest of modern equipment. These new studios on the Pacific Coast, reflecting the spirit of Radio City on the Atlantic seaboard, are magnificent examples of the constant striving for progress in which we of the radio industry are engaged. I see in these new studios of the National Broadcasting Company a promise. They are an accomplishment, but they are an accomplishment made possible by continuous advance and development. And the promise which they bear is justified by the events of the past. It's a promise that radio will continue to stride forward to new fields of public service and interest. A promise that radio will keep faith with the future. I would like at this time, to acknowledge with great appreciation the work done by 3 of my colleagues who are responsible for the program you are hearing tonight, the studios from which this program is being broadcast, and the personnel who is so adequately presenting this performance. O.B. Hanson, chief engineer, who not only built these Hollywood studios, but those in Radio City, those in Chicago, those in Denver, and other NBC offices. As a radio technician, he's a pioneer, and in our judgment, the greatest of the present day. John F. Royal, vice president in charge of our programs all over the world, one of America's great showmen, and the man who is directly responsible for our effort this evening. And last but not least, Don Gilman, vice president in charge of our Pacific Coast Division, whose organization has done so much for our West Coast radio in the past, and to whom we look for greater things in the future. I'm happy to be here tonight as NBC inaugurates its new studios in Hollywood, and it gives me much pleasure to add my word of welcome to our many distinguished guests, and to extend that welcome to the American radio audience from coast to coast.
That, ladies and gentlemen, was Richard Patterson, Jr. Yes, sir, I want you to know it. You can all laugh, but if you don't think he had plenty to do with radio and NBC, you're crazy. And now, oh, golly, you're cute. All you're cute. If I thought I'd get as many laughs as that, I'd talk all about radio. But I want to introduce a man now whose name is synonymous with radio. A man whose name speaks for itself. And when he speaks, you know who it is. He announces football, baseball, highballs, everything. Jimmy Wallington.
Thank you, Al. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wallington.
Modern pianist, leader of his popular radio orchestra, and composer of both words and music of many of the song hits which you yourself have hummed and whistled. Right now, he directs the orchestra in a medley of his own compositions, including Rain, Rain, Go Away, I'm Yours, and Body and Soul, during which he himself plays the piano interludes. Johnny Green, the piano, the orchestra, the stage, and the audience are yours.
introduce our next artist. Here you are, Al.
All right, Jimmy. And now I want to introduce a new star in motion pictures. And yes, sir, a real star. This young fellow's been singing on the radio for a mighty long time. It was only a few months ago that I got his first chance in motion pictures. The chance came in the Warner Brothers' first national musical, Stars Over Broadway. And you have seen the picture, know the rest. Both the critics and the public were unanimous in acclaiming him one of the real finds of motion pictures. I refer to that singing sensation of the air and screen, James Melton. Tonight, he joins us from Baltimore.
I was a dreamer, but I didn't even venture to think someone like you could care. Now life has turned into a beautiful adventure. I never knew that life on earth could be so fair. Where am I? Am I in heaven? Or am I really with you? Who are you? Are you an angel? Or just a dream that's too good to be true? Can moonlight be so enchanting? Can kisses be so divine? Where am I? Am I in heaven? Can it be true that you are mine?
That was Where Am I, ladies and gentlemen, from Stars Over Broadway. And now I'm going to sing a little cowboy song that I sang in Stars Over Broadway, and it's called Carry Me Back to the Lone Prairie. Now I'm going to sing a little cowboy song that I sang in Stars Over Broadway, and it's called Carry Me Back to the Lone Prairie. I'm a roving cowboy, far away from home, far from the prairie where I used to roam, where the dog is wander and the wind blows free. Oh, my heart is yonder by the lone prairie. Oh, carry me back to the lone prairie where the coyotes howl and the wind blows free. And when I die, you can bury me 'neath the western sky on the lone prairie. Give me back my saddle, give me back my gun, give me back that bronco that I used to run. Let me lay my blanket by a peaceful stream, hear the cowboys singing by the campfire gleam. Oh, carry me back to the lone prairie where the coyotes howl and the wind blows free. And when I die, you can bury me 'neath the western sky on the lone prairie. Hi-ya!
Thank you very much, James Melton. We now return you to Hollywood.
Come on, get to work. What do you think? Come on, act like you do with candor. Do something, will you?
All right, Al, I'll be a bit more dignified. But don't go away too far. We're counting on you a little bit later. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to present to you Mr. Merlin H. Aylesworth,
President of the National Broadcasting Company and Chairman of the Board of Directors of Radio Pictures, Mr. Merlin H. Aylesworth.
It is my privilege tonight, as president of the National Broadcasting Company, in behalf of my associates gathered here in the heart of Hollywood, to dedicate the latest and most modern radio studios in the world. Famous artists of the screen and radio are assembled here this evening to join with us in this first program of entertainment. Beginning tonight, you will receive a new thrill in radio. In the future, those engaged in productions of the screen, and there are thousands of great artists in Hollywood, will, through the power of radio broadcasting and these excellent studios, with their modern radio equipment, offer their talent, whether in song, drama, comedy, or orchestral music, with all of the perfection of Radio City. I desire to personally thank the engineers of both the Radio Corporation of America and the National Broadcasting Company for the wonderful radio equipment in operation here tonight, and also the Consolidated Film Industry and my friend, Mr. Herbert Yates, its president, who has provided this splendid building for the National Broadcasting Company. We are deeply indebted to the motion picture and radio stars who have offered to entertain you tonight, and regret that radio time will not permit us to accept the services of the hundreds who have generously reported for duty. The leading directors and executives of the motion picture industry are with us, as well as the members of the radio fraternity and the press. In dedicating these studios to the artists, directors, cameramen, production, and business executives of the great movie studios of Hollywood, I shall ask the man who can represent all and whom we love for his fine inspiration, clear understanding, and exalted purpose in inspiring the finest motion pictures in the history of the industry. Of course, I refer to my friend, Mr. Will H. Hayes, president of the Motion Picture Producers and Distributors Association, who is the benevolent leader of the movies and the friend of radio broadcasting. Tonight inaugurates a new understanding and complete cooperation between these great industries, aiding each other in furnishing, whether in the home or in the theater, the finest in radio and motion picture entertainment. Mr. Will H. Hayes.
Thank you, Deke Aylesworth. I'm grateful for what you say, and I appreciate this occasion. Opportunity measures responsibility. This is a very great responsibility, resting on those who undertake to supply the entertainment needs of a nation. It compels in an overwhelming manner a constant determination to improve and broaden the service rendered. This occasion is an instance of the recognition of that responsibility by these two great agencies of service, the radio and motion pictures. The immeasurable possibilities they jointly possess makes the opening of these new Hollywood studios of the National Broadcasting Company of particular significance to the whole public. It is the public, of course, which will be the primary beneficiary. We all felicitate Mr. David Sarnoff and you, Mr. Aylesworth, leaders in the industry, and your associates, on your vision and good judgment. To aid in their effort to supply the best entertainment possible for their great networks that cover this country like winter snow blankets or northern fields, they do well indeed to come to the greatest of all centers of entertainment talent. Certainly, we of motion pictures will not deny that. Here, with our cooperation, they will find much of the talent their great opportunities and facilities merit, and which their immeasurable audience deserves. The motion picture industry believes that whatever interests the public in good entertainment and further acquaints the people with the fine quality of the great motion picture artists will increase the public support of our motion picture entertainment everywhere. These new studios really express everything that the broadcasting industry represents. Their construction in such solid and permanent form in the motion picture colony is indicative of the importance which is now attached to the cooperation between radio and motion pictures. It would not be fair to you for me to discuss this plan without some comment on the originality, beauty, and effectiveness of these studios. They occupy a commanding position on one of Hollywood's important streets and are the last word in modernistic construction. In a community marked with beautiful and striking buildings and large and impressive motion picture studios, this unit of the National Broadcasting Company will compel public interest and favorable comment, indeed, from all who see it. It is an amplified pleasure to me, too, to note the consummation of this step in our cooperation. And incidentally, I'm glad to see radio contribute to raising the taxable value of Los Angeles real estate, a matter it previously left to motion picture industry. Radio, the latest, is, of course, the greatest of all the steps in the progress of communications. And the progress of communications has measured the forward march of civilization. A whisper in a microphone on a hookup such as this instantly beats upon the eardrums of the world. To me, it's all such a constant wonder that my joy in the program is confused by my concern about how can it be and how marvelous it is. I think, however, it may be good occasionally to stop and consider just how great some of these things really are and how much they do mean to us. You know, the youth of today accept as commonplace achievements of science, which to our ancestors would have savored of black magic. Can you imagine what would have happened when John Alden went to call if Priscilla had turned a little knob and from what looked like an ordinary early American cabinet, the voice of Miles Standish had emerged, making a speech to his soldiers? John's backward leap through the door would have been as agile as the jump of a nerve under a dentist's drill, and Priscilla would have had some tall explaining to do to the Committee on Witchcraft. Or, vision if you can, what would have occurred in a hall filled with people if, say, on the 19th day of April, 1775, the street of a village had suddenly appeared on an end wall, and Paul Revere had come galloping and shouting into the foreground of a newsreel. That audience would have run like 20 grand. Of course, the reactions under similar circumstances might not have been much different even 30 years ago when motion pictures began. But today, millions sit in their own homes and, by the mere turning of that dial, do listen to the voices of the music of their choice, and go to the nearest movie and see the orator as he speaks, or thrill to the music of the master violinist as they watch him draw his bow across the strings. Oh, it's a great life, inside of and right at nearly everyone's front door. And nothing except sunlight and rain touches the average human being as intimately as do the radio and the motion picture. But the supply, believe me, doesn't come as easily as do the sunlight or the rain. Lincoln's Gettysburg speech, to which Edgar Guest referred, is engraved on the heart of this nation. Each of us wishes he might have seen and heard that great and careworn man deliver that address. Now, nothing stirring or fine will ever be lost. Beauty has become as ageless as time. The functions of motion pictures and radio and education, science, industry, and commerce are numerous and varied, but no use to which these amazing devices have been applied is of more importance to humanity than their service in just supplying entertainment and recreation to all the people. This is not only a privilege, it's an essential contribution. Just as you serve the leisure hours of a nation, so do you indeed rivet the girders of society. I've said that so often. People are tired of hearing me say it, but I know it is true. Entertainment is the one universal means to lift a weary human being out of fatigue and despondency, give him physical and mental rest, and fit him again to take up the work and worries of his daily life. Here I feel that both the radio and the motion picture have played their full part. One proof that the radio is awake to its privileges is the opening of this new studio by which I'm now going into your homes and inviting you to come out and see some of our motion pictures. Here in Hollywood, where less than a quarter of a century ago, motion picture production was confined to lofts, barns, and vacant lots. We are making today, in studios so vast and peopled that they are little towns in themselves, what I firmly believe to be the finest entertainment in the world. We've retained all the comedy and all the thrills which give pictures much of their recreational value, and at the same time have moved into higher spheres of dramatic and educational appeal. Answering criticism of pictures with better pictures, as it always must be answered, we now not only have brought to the screen the highest quality of entertainment, the opera and the important works of classical and current literature, but we are also developing, with the aid of many volunteer groups, an audience response which will grow, we hope, to help assure continuity of improvement always. But progress in motion pictures cannot stop, any more than it can in other industries, any more than it can in the country itself. The conquest of great screen illusion, both in sound and sight, must be and is before and not behind the art. I am confident, for example, that the audiences tomorrow will witness pictures both superb in color and with the qualities of natural perspective, where depth will be added to height and width. With progress of this sort, we vision a screen in which closer realism, adapted by the basic principles of art, will mark the great motion pictures to come. A screen where the most beneficial and widest possible service of entertainment, information, and education will obtain. From that screen will come the greatest actors to talk to you on the radio as I am talking to you tonight. And to that screen will go for ultimate recording the most eloquent voices and the greatest music that the radio industry can develop or transmit. Together, we shall advance in a new era of progress. Now, one last word. The opening of this progress tonight, too, is a symbol of American enterprise, reawakening on many fronts. It is further proof that all's well with the United States, its institutions, and its industries. That all we need is still just a little more patience, a little more hard work, and holding to the simple faith and courage, those fundamental qualities which raised in this productive land the greatest nation the world has ever known.
I can only describe as beautiful, vivacious, charming. American-born, she has attained fame with the Metropolitan Opera Company. And then, turning her talent to the radio microphone, the entire nation responded to the glorious and lingering quality of her voice. Now that she has come to Hollywood, pictures claim part of her time, starring for Paramount. She has accomplished all this without losing any of her simplicity. Perhaps you have guessed her name. Gladys Swarthout. Miss Swarthout will sing one of the songs from her first starring picture, Where Is My Love, from Rose of the Ramparts. Miss Swarthout.
Before I sing, I want to read you all a telegram which arrived this evening. Dear Miss Swarthout, at your appearance tonight at the first broadcast of the National Broadcasting Company at its magnificent new studios in Hollywood, we will appreciate it if you will extend to the National Broadcasting Company our sincere congratulations and our expression of gratification at this latest evidence of advancement of a fellow art. Stop. We are particularly happy that you, as one of our stars, are in a position to deliver this message in behalf of Paramount Pictures. Signed, John E. Otterson, Ernest Dubich, and Henry Hertzman. All right, Mr. Wilson.
My true love is strong and fearless and fine, and his kisses are like roses and wine. I'm a fallen senorita, and to think we would ever meet a lover so divine. But he's only a dream, only a dream. So the one lover who is all mine, and the one I could ever call mine, is mine. Yes! Some night and summer by the moon, my love will come riding. Some night the magic of the moon will draw him from hiding. Tell him I'm waiting, patiently waiting, alone. Why does he hesitate? Why does he linger? Why is my lover late? Where can he be? Where is my love, the love for whom I'm praying? Stars shine above, and sweet guitars are playing on a night so divine.
And now, folks, do you mind if I call up my little wife, Ruby, and tell her a few things? I just want to let you know, Ruby, that if we have a speech like Will Hayes just made again, I'll be home New Year's Eve. And Will Hayes, if you heard that, I'm not kidding. Well, folks, since I left the microphone a few moments ago, I met a whole lot of friends outside in the lobby. And I tell you, a lot of them are going to perform before this little old microphone before the show's over. But first, we're going to hop across the country to pick up a fellow who is waiting back in Pittsburgh. He's got to catch a train for New York in a few minutes, but he's going to be with us on our program before he goes. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I've been in show business a great many years. That takes in the stage, the screen, and the radio. And in all that time, I've seen a great many of them come and go. Some of them were overnight sensations, but somehow they didn't have that metal which tends to make up the true artist. But every now and then, and believe me, folks, it's a rare occasion, a real artist comes along who has every qualification. One who not only entertains you, but one who has that indefinable something that makes the public love him. Some people call it personality. Some say it's charm. Others insist it's talent. Well, whatever it is, this guy I'm talking about has got it. Rudy Valley.
Hi-ho, everybody. As one of those early pioneers who broadcast from the rough, plain, and primitive studios out in Southern California and Hollywood, no one is happier than I that increased business and foresight has resulted in the building of the studios that we are dedicating tonight. NBC has one of the finest group of engineers and control men and managers out there, and I hope that it won't be long that before I'll be back with John Swallow, Harry Jackson, and all that crowd out there in Hollywood. I've selected tonight a little number typical of the West, a popular tune of today called Boots and Saddles. Take me back to my boots and saddles. Let me see that general store. Let me ride the range once more. Give me my boots and saddle. Let me ramble along the prairie. Roping steers and old barracks with my buddies Slim and Tech. Give me my boots and saddle. Got a hankering to be with a banjo on my knee, strumming a pretty western tune. There's a gal in Cherokee, and she's waiting there for me under a Texas moon. So take me back to my boots and saddle. Let me greet each blazing morn on the ranch where I was born. Give me my boots and saddle. So take me back to my boots and saddle. Let me greet each blazing morn on the ranch where I was born. Give me my boots and saddle.
Thank you, Rudy Valley. And now back to Hollywood.
I owe everybody, but I'll pay.
Al, come here a minute, will you?
What's on your mind, Ken?
You told me just before this program went on the air that you'd been asked to sing a couple of songs.
Well, the way I feel tonight, I'm going to lay down in a bed in a minute. But I'll tell you the truth. I'll go you one better. Not a couple of songs. I'll sing you a medley of 3 popular songs, Ken. And believe me, in all seriousness, these songs have been popular for a good many years. 3 old ones. Hit it, Victor.
Well,
Whispering while you cuddle near me, whispering so no one can hear me. Each little whisper seems to cheer me. I know it's true, there's no one dear but you. Whispering why you'll never leave me. Whispering why you'll never grieve me. Whisper and say that you believe me. Whispering that I love you. Come to me, my melancholy baby, but love and don't be blue. All your fears are foolish fancies, maybe. You know, honey, I'm in love with you. Every cloud must have a silver lining. Wait until the sun shines through. Smile, my honey dear, while I kiss away each tear, or else I shall be melancholy too. Oh, butterfly, neath the blossoms waiting for butterfly, cause she loved him so. The moments pass in the hours pass into years, and as she smiles through her tears, she murmurs low, the moon and I know that he be faithful. I know that he come to me by and by. But if he don't come back, then I never sigh or cry. I just must die for a butterfly. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we go all the way to Paradise Inn in New York City to pick up, who do you think? The old mousetrap. You know who I mean when I say mousetrap. The Yowza Kid. And believe me, he's a swell guy. I'm talking about my pal, Ben Berner, and all the lads. And do you folks know why I like Ben? It's because he's such a swell fella. Ben is so generous. There isn't a selfish bone in his body. Why, when he was out here in Hollywood a few months ago, we played golf every day. And naturally, we had our lunches together. Well, for 4 days in a row, I picked up the check. And on the 5th day, the waiter laid the check down. I made a draft for it, and Ben stopped me. He says, wait a minute, Al. There's a limit to everything. This time, we'll talk for it. Are you there, Ben?
Yowza, I is here, Al. What a kick it is to be introduced by Jolson, my old pal Jolie, the king. Gosh, if Winchell could only hear this. Yowza, I is here in the good old Paradise Restaurant in New York, ladies and gentlemen. And sure it's proud I am to pay me respect to the cycles, the what, the giant kilo cycles of the Hollywood NBC studios. Long may they cycle, says I. And quicker than you can say Jack Robinson, we are going to play quicker than you can say Jack Robinson. And Billy Wilson will sing it. I hope you'll like it.
Quicker than you can say Jack Robinson, you can say I love you. And wouldn't you rather say I love you than Jack Robinson? And quicker than you can walk around the block, you can be kissing me. And wouldn't you rather be kissing me than to walk around the block? 60 minutes make an hour, 3 feet make a yard. 30 days are in September, and if you really want to know, statistics show that quicker than you can say Jack Robinson, you can say I love you. But wouldn't you rather say I love you than Jack Robinson?
Well done, my lads, well done. That was Jack Robinson. And now I think I'll break in my baritone on the new Hollywood studios. Forgive me, forgive me. When it's sleepy time in Topsy-Turvy Town. I hope you'll like it. Tired little lad, what a day you've had. Things are topsy-turvy in your room. Why, you've been up since dawn. Now come on, get your nightie on, and hop upon the Sandman's room. Your toys are topsy-turvy, they're scattered every way. It's time for toys and little boys to call it a day. You've had a lot of fun. Come on there, little one. It's sleepy time in Topsy-Turvy Town. Oh, your drum is tired. You've tossed it on the floor. You've run your little trains until they can't run anymore. It's time you run to bed. Come on there, sleepyhead. It's sleepy time in Topsy-Turvy Town. You've counted all your painted wooden soldiers. It's time that you were busy counting sheep. Oh, come on and climb upon the maestro's shoulders, and he'll march you right on to sleep. Why, you're just a little rowdy. There's mischief in your face, but I'd be hard to find another one to take your place. Come on there, little clown. Let's turn the covers down. It's sleepy time in topsy-turvy town. Are all nuts. They want to hit the hay, and Mickey Mouse and Popeye whisper, let's call it a day. So let's put out the light and turn it for the night. It's sleepy time in topsy-turvy town. Shh. And now, time permits for one of the new ballads. From the Warner Brother Picture Broadway hosted, Let It Be Me. Let it be me, yowza. Well, it's certainly been nice, and I appreciate NBC permitting us to pay our bit of a tribute to dear old NBC, the Hollywood studios, where we spent so many, many wonderful months. I wish nothing but the best for yous guys and yous gals out there in Hollywood. Yowza.
Well, Ben, I want to congratulate you on one thing. You did longer than Will Hayes. It's a good thing you got that word yowza. If you didn't have that, you'd be selling pencils without a cup. And now, ask Winslow to top that. I like him, too. And now, I have a pleasant surprise for you. A very lovely and charming friend of mine just flew out from New York this week. She's a girl you all knew back in the days when there wasn't even a whisper in pictures. You know, back in the good old silent picture days. Now she's a star in her own name on the radio. May I present someone we all know and love, Irene Rich. Come on out here, Irene. What a night. Irene, I'm glad to see you back here on your old stamping ground. We've kind of missed you lately around Hollywood.
Oh, thanks, Al. You know, I've kind of missed being in Hollywood while I've been away.
Oh,
I have like New York.
Oh, yeah. I suppose you've been seeing a lot of your old friends since you got back, Irene.
You know, I really didn't know I had so many, Al. Oh, it's been a real homecoming for me. Of course, I've been in town only a few days, and I haven't had much time because I had to work, you know.
I see.
Mm.
Well, Irene, I want to tell you something. That is, if you haven't heard it yet.
What's that?
It's great news.
What?
You heard about Tommy Meehan being kind of under weather for a while? Well,
yeah.
Irene, listen, dear. Tom is right here in town again, staying at the Beverly Wilshire Hotel, and he's looking like $1 million.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, Al. I want to see him before I go back to New York.
Sure, Irene. Tommy Meehan was as great an actor in his day as ever walked in front of a Klieg light, and how the people loved him. I'm happy he's getting well again. And, Tom, I hope tonight you're listening in.
We all hope you're listening in. He's a wonderful man and a grand actor.
Oh, excuse me, Miss Rich.
Yes.
I thought you'd like to know. Tom Meehan is listening in tonight.
Good.
A friend of his just told me a few minutes ago.
Oh, I'm glad, Mr. Carpenter.
Yes, and if you'll excuse me, I'm going right out and call Tom up on the phone and say hello.
Yeah, do it.
Find out how the show is coming over. I'll be back later.
Good. Say hello for me.
You know, Miss Rich, when I saw you this evening, I just happened to think that you were certainly a representative of the screen world who went east to become a star of radio, and now returns to represent radio and at the same time act as a representative who represents both radio and motion pictures.
Well, that's representing a lot. And now that you're through representing what I'm representing...
Well, that nearly got away from me, but I think I'm through.
Oh, good. Then I've decided to be your representative and pretend that I'm an announcer. May I?
Fine, go ahead.
Now, before you can stop me, here goes. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going over to Honolulu to hear a voice that I love, and I know that you do, too. Yes, sir, Ruth Edding is waiting over there among the sea breezes and the palm trees to sing to us. Ruth Edding, the girl who rose to fame and affection in the Ziegfeld Follies, who found a newer and broader audience with the radio, and now combines her time between motion pictures and her first love, radio. Ruth Edding will sing Hawaiian Paradise. So I'm going to press this little button, and we'll take you now to Honolulu.
We greet you, Hollywood NBC, from KGU, Honolulu, Hawaii, the mid-Pacific station of the National Broadcasting Company's great network. One of NBC's own stars, Ruth Edding, will sing Hawaiian Paradise, accompanied by the composer Harry Owens with his Royal Hawaiian Hotel Orchestra.
Hawaiian paradise, Hawaiian heaven, land of make-believe, come true. Please take me to your heart, Hawaiian heaven. Never more to part from you. Oh, let me live and laugh with you while love is young. And let me rest here when my day is through. Hawaiian paradise, at last I found you, land of make-believe, come true. Hawaiian paradise, Hawaiian heaven, land of make-believe, come true. Please take me to your heart, Hawaiian heaven, never more to part from you. Oh, let me live and laugh with you while love is so young. And let me rest here when my day is through. Hawaiian paradise, at last I found you, land of make-believe, come true.
Thank you, Ruth Edding. Since 1931, Hawaii has enjoyed many outstanding programs from the NBC network, and KGU is proud to be affiliated with this great organization. Congratulations and aloha. Take it away, Hollywood.
The evolution of entertainment through the mechanical processes, both in pictures and radio, is still dependent, however, upon human beings, with talent, of course.
That lets me out, Jack.
Quiet. That was Mary, folks.
We've been jumping around the country quite a bit lately, so let's do some more of it. One of America's outstanding baritones sang another highly successful concert in Chicago tonight. Everyone loves him for his beautifully rich voice and his engaging personality. John Charles Thomas.
Good evening, dear friends. I'm going home to my Blue Hill. Colin Wendell. fight I'll never win. Lonely the years I've waited through for cloudy skies to change to blue. I'm longing for you and my blue hills, down where the southern moon shines, wondering if you will be waiting for me 'neath the sweet sanded pines. I've tramped and tramped the pavements of the city, never finding rest by night or day. Always I've been chasing after rainbows until I dropped by the way. So I'm going home to my blue hills, down where the southern moon shines.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next great star is the king of good fellows. I know because I work with him. A man whose laughs have gone around the world so many times that it has placed him tops in the list of radio comedians. And to add to that, he makes pictures for Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer that have made him one of the outstanding stars of the screen also. Just in case there's any question in your mind as to whom we refer, Jack Benny is the name. We're going to take you now to his dressing room at the Paramount Theater in Los Angeles. Hello down there, Jack. Are you listening?
Thank you, Don. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jack Benny coming to you from his dressing room at the Paramount Theater in Los Angeles, where I have just finished my third show, making it 3 down and 2 to go. Isn't it strange, folks? I've just given a performance to approximately 4,000 people in a magnificent auditorium covering a square block. And now, here I am in a little dressing room, hardly large enough for 4 people, yet able to talk to millions. That, ladies and gentlemen, is great progress brought about through the medium of radio. I remember only a few years ago when I sat in a dressing room and couldn't find anyone to talk to. And it wasn't so many years ago that Hollywood was like my dressing room, inhabited by very few people. In fact, it was part of a desert. And by virtue of these progressive mediums, first talking pictures and now radio, the desert has gone cosmopolitan. It is today the center and capital of the entire amusement world, filled with glamorous personalities and talent of every description from the 4 corners of the world. And the National Broadcasting Company, fully realizing this fact, are today proving their recognition by the inauguration of a new modern building, a sister to Radio City, fully equipped with all modern facilities to broadcast these great talents to all parts of the world. Hollywood and the entire county of Los Angeles should feel proud and happy over their good fortune in this progressive step taken by NBC. It is further proof that not only is Hollywood becoming the dominating center of the world in the production of motion pictures, but it is likewise becoming equally as great a radio center, sharing its national broadcast with radio's other great center, New York City. The evolution of entertainment through the mechanical processes, both in pictures and radio, is still dependent, however, upon human beings, with talent, of course.
That lets me out, Jack.
Quiet. That was Mary, folks. Pardon us. And because these great talents migrated to Hollywood, the National Broadcasting Company has found Hollywood an important source of valuable radio entertainment. In Hollywood, you will find internationally famous writers, directors, actors, and engineers from all parts of the world, representing their various arts and countries merged into one busy organization, inspired by these 2 great mediums, motion pictures and now radio, for the purpose of entertaining the entire world. To the National Broadcasting Company, to their president, M.H. Aylesworth, to Richard Patterson, John Royal, Niles Tremel, John Gilman, John W. Swallow, and O.B. Hanson, a great deal of credit is due for the opening of this magnificent building, which will inspire the development of more programs of greater quality and encourage these great Hollywood personalities to come to radio, who heretofore have not been able to do so because of the lack of facilities and the inability to leave Hollywood because of their obligations to pictures. And now they will be able to do both. The only other thing I can say right now is good luck. Mary, is there something you want to say?
Do I? I've been working on this all night.
What?
My poem.
Funny, I felt that. Huh? Well, go ahead, read it. Has it something to do with the occasion, then?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes.
well, of course. Go ahead.
All right. A bunch of the boys were whooping it up at the Malumet Saloon.
I thought so.
A kid sat there at the radio getting a ragtime tune. The songs and witty sayings floated through the air. Was it from Jack Benny? We don't know and we don't care.
Wow.
Under the spreading chestnut tree, the radio writer sits, picking out the chestnuts for comedians and wits. The Smith, a mighty manatee, but not as good as NBC.
That's it.
NBC, NBC, NBCDEFG. Stanford, rah, rah, rah. Was that all right, Jack?
Yes, Mary, but NBC is opening tonight, not Stanford.
It's a fine time to tell me.
Good night, folks. Thank you, Jack Benny. We return you now to NBC's Hollywood studios.
Jack Benny, ladies and gentlemen, who delivered the second part of Will Hay's speech. And now a surprise. I've seen the audience tonight, a man I insist should come up here on the stage of our glorious auditorium. Jack Benny, ladies and gentlemen, who delivered the second part of Will Hay's speech. And now a surprise. I've seen the audience tonight, a man I insist should come up here on the stage of our glorious auditorium. After all, you know by now that this auditorium is pretty. I see no one else than that great sport writer, fine golfer, Grantland Wright. The last time I saw you, Grant...
Just wait a minute, Al. The last time I saw you, you told me you couldn't break a 90. You shot a 74 and it cost me $15.
Oh, forget it, Grant. It was just an off day. I'm sorry.
Well, so am I. Now, how about that $15? I can still use it, Al.
Now, listen, Grant, this is a broadcast. Don't get commercial. But look, to show you I'm a square shooter when I don't slash a hook, I still like the shorts you make. And by the way, are you still making them?
Oh, well, they're still making me. If I can be made, and probably I can. I wouldn't know.
Radio.
But that doesn't square
radio.
that $15, Al.
Listen, I'm sorry, but I haven't got $15 with me. This is the Warner Brothers suit I got on. Listen, let's swing over to football and talk about the Rose Bowl game.
Listen, Al.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear about a fellow named Frank Buck who brings them back alive? Well, I saw a fellow today that Frank Buck couldn't bring back even half alive.
Who's that, Grant?
I'll tell you. Al Masters, the graduate manager of Stanford. I saw him about 2 hours ago, and he told me that they were going to have 160,000 requests for seats at Pasadena, where they can only seat 85,000. Requests for seats that have broken all past records, and everybody had better figure on that.
Well, look, Grant, you stand pretty good. How about 6 seats for me on the 50-yard line?
How about that $15?
Still commercial, eh? Listen, what I want to know is this. Who's going to win?
If I knew Al, I wouldn't want that $15. But I'll say this. I've seen that Southern Methodist team.
Yeah.
Stanford will have to be about 2 touchdowns better than they've ever been so far. Maybe 3, I wouldn't know. But they'll have to be better. Those Texas Mustangs can range far and long. I'll tell you just how good they are, Al, if you want to know. They're the Al Jolsons of football.
The Southern Methodists are the Al Jolsons of football?
That's just what I said, Al.
Grant, here's your $15.
Thank you very much, Al.
Now, Phil Regan sings. These are familiar words of late to listeners from coast to coast. Why, ladies and gentlemen, Phil Regan is...
Wait a minute, Ken. Wait a minute.
All right, I'll go
If
ahead.
anybody's going to introduce Phil Regan, it's going to be me.
Well,
After all, who has a better right to introduce him when you consider that Phil and I are both under contract to the same picture studio? You know, the Warner Brothers. How am I doing, Jack Warner? I guess I didn't get the name in tonight, huh? Phil and I not only work together, we happen to be pals. And as Ken was about to tell you, Phil Regan is unquestionably one of the finest singers on the air. It is my privilege and my pleasure to present that Irish tenor, Phil Regan.
Thank you, Al Jolson. I like the way you produced me.
Want me to sing? Okay. What is this? I said Phil Regan. I didn't say Patsy Flick.
How do you know I'm not Phil Regan?
It's not Phil Regan. I'm telling you, it's not Phil Regan. Sure, and it's Regan.
Can I help it if you talk with an accent?
Maybe I'm crazy.
I wouldn't argue with you.
All right. No argument. Sit down, will you, Patsy? And let's go on with the show. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you one of Warner Brothers' rising young stars, Phil Regan, who will sing that old favorite, It Was So Beautiful. Okay, Phil Regan.
Thank you.
It was so beautiful, so wonderful, so gorgeous, so divine, and you are mine, and you are mine. It was so beautiful, so marvelous, the stars above us shone. We were alone. We were alone. The time was right. The moon was low. I held you tight. How could I let you go? It was so beautiful, so wonderful, so gorgeous, so divine, and you are mine, and you are mine. Nighttime found us, happiness around us, church bells ringing, day is done. They'll be ringing when we're one. Evening blessing, you and I caressing. Music, moonlight, melody, only there for you and me. It was so beautiful, so wonderful, so gorgeous, so divine, and you are mine, and you are mine. It was so beautiful, so marvelous, the stars above us shone. We were alone. We were alone. The time was right. The moon was low. I held you tight. How could I let you go? It was so beautiful, so wonderful, so gorgeous, so divine, and you are mine, and you are mine.
It is about time that we introduce an orchestra director who has been with NBC in Hollywood since it was in swaddling clothes. Incidentally, he is also an actor. You should see him in makeup sometime over in the RKO lot just across the fence, as it were, from this new NBC building. However, tonight he isn't wearing his grease paint, so we present him as an outstanding musical director who has also supported and co-starred with many famous celebrities, not only on the air, but in pictures. It's Harry Jackson, directing the orchestra in No Other One. Strike up the band, Harry.
pardon me, I want to phone my wife again. Honey, I want to ask you something. Has our son grown much since I left home for this show? You know, folks, there are quite a few Hollywood stars in London, England at the present time. And although they are 6,000 miles away, and even though it's 4 o'clock in the morning over there, they are just as much interested in this inaugural as we are. So much so that they are holding a Hollywood party tonight to celebrate this occasion. And do you know what we are going to do now? We're going to hop across the continent and across the ocean, and we will be in London, England. America calling. Are you folks still awake over there in London? Take it away!
Hello, America. Hello, Hollywood. This is London. James Goodinforth speaking. And I was going to tell you about the people coming here to celebrate tonight's Hollywood event. But I can't go on until I find out why Roscoe H. has just come in dressed as a butler and Barbara Ray as a maid. What's it all about, Roscoe?
Well, you see, Laura LaPlante said some of our fans were coming here, so she's asked me to be a butler and Barbara Ray to be a maid. She thought it would be a lot of fun, you know.
Well, it will be fun, Roscoe. You just wait and see.
That's all right, Barbara. If I looked like you doing those clothes of yours, I'd think it was fun, too. But, Jimmy, all I know about butling is opening battles. What do I do? Well, here's Lola LaPlante now. Lola, tell Roscoe what he has to do.
Oh, Roscoe, you're a dear to help me out. And as for Barbara, doesn't she look cute? All you have to do, Roscoe, is announce the guest.
Oh, all right, Barbara, we're off. You open the door, and I'll do the announcing.
Okay, Roscoe.
Mr. Carroll Gibbons. Where's Miss LaPlante? Wait a minute. Are you kidding me, Mr. Gibbons? No, but do you think you've got the monopoly on the starting business?
Carol, it's grand to see you.
Hello, Laura.
Well, you're for it. There's a piano. You know what that means.
Anything for you.
Good.
Mr. Clive, what? Hello, Roscoe. What are you doing here? Well, you see, I've got a very important announcement to promote. An announcement? My dear fellow, before you get it out, the broadcast will be over. I'm going to play tennis tomorrow. What are those clothes you've got on? Are you supposed to be a butler or something? Yes, sir. I'm a butler, and how? Well, you see, listen, Clyde, it's on account of this side suit. You see, it doesn't, well, it's too big, that's all.
Hello, Clyde.
Laura, my dear, how very nice to see you.
When you get yourself a glass of something, I'll be with you in the morning.
All right, Laura, I will. Oh, by the way, Fay Ray, Bessie Love, Douglas Montgomery, send our love to you and hope they'll be along later.
Oh, I hope they can come.
Mr. Buddy Rogers and Miss Gina Mallow. Hello, Laura. I brought Gina Mallow along with me. You know her?
How do you know, Miss Morrow? Good for you, Buddy. Thank you, Miss LaPlante. Buddy, what about a little music?
Little music? Well, I'll take one piano if Carol Gibbons will take the other one. Eh, Carol? Right so. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a very important announcement from the Pardon. Mr. Carey, go ahead.
Hello, Laura. Am I late?
Not a bit, Clary. We're just starting.
Good. Say, Laura, isn't that Webster Boozer over there?
It is.
Well, I hope I'm in time to hear him sing.
Well, he hasn't sung yet. Shall we ask him now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Webster Booth?
All right, Laura. If Kenneth Leslie Smith will play for me, I'll sing his new song that none of you have heard before.
Of course I will.
When I'm ringing the measure of joy that cannot be told. Wonderful moment, breathing of beauty and purpose, that is the moment when you give me your heart. Since that moment so blindly, when you came from the blue, every moment I felt so meant for you. Night to night I am finding that great moment of love, when my life teems with its newborn dream, and my whole heart seems to fall. Wonderful moment, when I may hold you close at hand, momentum ending, descending from above. Wonderful moment, from that eternity of ours, one caress me and bless me with your love. The moment of pleasure that all my life I shall treasure, bringing the measure of joy that cannot be found. Wonderful moment, breathing of beauty and purpose, that is the moment when you give me your
Ladies and gentlemen, as I said before, I have a very important announcement to make. And I want to know if Mamie, pardon me, Mr. Douglas Fairbanks, the kid, folks.
Take off that comic suit, Roscoe. We know you.
Say, I will not, Doug. I'm a butler, not a nudist. And say, by the way, I've got a very important announcement to make.
So have I. Laura, here's a telegram just arrived.
From Noel Coward and Gertie Lawrence. I think I ought to read it to you.
Well, do. Let's hear it.
Sorry not to be with you. Still out of town with new play. We wish to send our love to all our friends in Hollywood and best wishes for success.
Noel and Gertie.
Oh, lovely. I hear they're having quite a success.
Please, folks. Now, can I make my announcement?
No, you can't. Not until Natalie Hall sings.
Oh,
Natalie
sweet.
Hall? What about a song?
Oh, Natalie, sing that one out of Puritan Lullaby.
All
Please, you know, always.
Yeah, all right. Tennis won't play. Come on.
Like a heart that is true, mine own yesterdays are still. All in the love of last and change, including me and you. Eternity will find
gentlemen, Dad, burn it. I've got to make an announcement.
Now, wait a minute, Roscoe. Doug will help you.
Of course I will. The announcement will
Oh, dear, that's no good. Cry, please.
With pleasure, Laura, with pleasure. Ladies and
Wait just a minute. They've all got it. Buddy, Carrie, everybody. Try to help, will you?
Hey, wait a minute. Just a minute. Say, I can do better myself. NBC are opening their new Hollywood studios in Hollywood tonight. You guys. And I thought you'd all like to wish them luck. Say, Laura, don't you want to send them a message?
I do. Hello, NBC in Hollywood. Love and best wishes from all of us here in London.
Is London calling America?
Ladies and gentlemen, there are two outstanding stars of the entertainment world waiting for this moment at the St. George Hotel in Brooklyn. We'd like to have them both here with us in person in Hollywood tonight, of course. But that's impossible due to their appearances in a mammoth show at the Hippodrome Theater on Broadway. You've heard plenty about it, Jumbo. The next best thing is for us to let you hear them from back there in New York. You've seen them both on the screen. You hear them weekly over the air. We'll leave it to you to guess which is which. So here we go from Hollywood straight across the country for Paul Whiteman and Jimmy Schnozzle Durante at the St. George Hotel in Brooklyn.
I'm sitting high on a hilltop, tossing all my troubles to the moon. While the breeze seems to say, don't you worry, things are bound to pick up pretty soon. Here near the sky on a hilltop, when I've had a busy afternoon, sitting high, high on a hilltop, tossing all my troubles to the moon. I know someone will love me, everything will be just grand. Just so the stars up above me continue doing business at the same old stand. It's mighty sweet in the evening when I've had a busy afternoon, sitting high, high, high on a hilltop, tossing all my troubles to the moon.
Good evening, and this is Paul Whiteman. I'm very happy to ask our little mite to the opening of the new stations in California. You know how happy that must make me feel, because California was always so swell to me. We're playing at a very quiet little party, a very little intimate party over in Brooklyn. There's about 6,000 people, and I persuaded Jimmy Durante to come over with me after we finished our show at Jumbo. I just want to have all you people in California hear what they think of Jimmy way over here in Brooklyn. Let's give Jimmy a minute.
Thanks, folks. Folks, this is Jimmy talking. Jimmy Durante. I've been asked to talk over the networks tonight, and when a Durante has been asked to talk, he don't have to be coached. But there's a conspiracy against me. The NBC executives found out that I'm not broadcasting from the coast, and what do? They said, now that Durante is out of Los Angeles, let's add a little class to the place. So they ups and builds a new studio. It's aggravating. Now I'm on the Texaco Fire Chief program, broadcasting Jumbo direct from the Hippodrome. Do you get the significance of that? They even keep me out of Radio City. All my friends come and say, Jimmy, we want to see a broadcast. And I say, okay, meet me backstage the night of the broadcast. I take my friends, put them through the back door. The manager catches them and puts them out through the front door. They come back to the back door, and I goes out through the front door. But I'm not kicking, folks, because you've got to laugh, laugh, laugh. When things are catastrophic, you've got to laugh, 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 and take it philanthropic. Why, a funny thing, I'm over here at the Hotel St. George. I'm standing outside the place. I'm minding my own business. I'm just communing with nature, see? And a guy comes up and tries to hitch his horse to me. And on top of that, he comes over and he says, do you want to fight? So I resorted to jiu-jitsu. I grabs his wrist with one hand. At the other hand, I twist his leg around his neck. And the first thing you know, I'm flat on my back. So, folks, what I want to say, if you're ever in trouble, I want you to always remember the password. Chin up, hold beam, and stand the gap. Speed up, Pagliacci and that. Ha, ha, ho, ho. Speed up, Pagliacci and
From the St. George Hotel in Brooklyn, New York, you've heard Paul Whiteman in the orchestra and Jimmy Durante. We return you now to Hollywood. No motion picture or radio presentation from Hollywood would be complete without the man whom I shall presently introduce. He started out 4 years ago when the National Broadcasting Company programs came to you from a closed-off area on a sound stage. Introducing the man who has the news of Hollywood at his fingertips, Jimmy Fiddler.
Thank you, Don. How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Don Wilson is correct. I do have all the news of Hollywood at my fingertips and a lot of tough guys right at my heels. The reason I'm here tonight is that this is a Hollywood program, and they say nothing that comes out of Hollywood can fail to have a touch of Fiddler. You know, a little salt and pepper to keep things from being too sweet. During my 15 years in the movie colony, I've attended hundreds of brilliant openings and premieres. I've seen times when a picture without a premiere was considered a one-bell picture. But I don't ever remember seeing an opening as brilliant as this one tonight. Everybody seems to be on hand here. Beautiful women of radio, screen, and stage, and just my luck, a handsome man with every beautiful woman. If you'll permit me to review tonight's opening as I would a motion picture, I'll call it a four-bell premiere. Thank you.
Hollywood is the city of golden opportunity. One talented girl has certainly found it to be, for she is one of the film capital's rising young stars. Possessing the attributes that have already brought her fame in radio, she has found that they also are the magic way to success in motion pictures. Listen to her as a star of the air, and you will soon see Ann Jameson as a star of the films. Miss Jameson offers the outstanding title song of the stage production Through the Years. Miss Jameson.
I
You know, we all have our more intimate friends. I'm personally happy, and I know all his West Coast friends in particular will be glad to hear from one of the West's pioneer and favorite commentators, a young man who has not only been broadcasting news events regularly for several years, but a man whom you so often hear and see in motion pictures as a sports announcer. It's Sam Hayes I'm talking about, and Sam Hayes who is going to say a few words to you now. Okay, Sam, come on in.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sam Hayes speaking to you from the new studios in Hollywood, California. And this is a beautiful and glorious edifice adorned with all the style of the modernists and swarming, yes, literally swarming with stars of the first magnitude of both radio and screen. It's news that is coming to you from Hollywood tonight, news that this is the forerunner of a closer link between the two great entertainment industries, for from within a few miles of the spot I am now standing on are the various motion picture studios with all the stars that you've come to know and love in celluloid. I wish I had time to tell you just a few of the many celebrities who are here tonight, many of them to appear in this program, who've already appeared on it, but many more to pay homage to the expansion and progress of the National Broadcasting Company. Thank you, and good night all.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Pardon me for butting in like this, Don. For a minute when I heard the name Hayes, I thought it was Will, and I went out. But again, I'm going to ask the privilege of making an introduction.
Certainly, Al. Go right ahead.
The fellow I'm going to tell you about is a very dear friend of mine. You know who I mean, my little pal, Victor Zebach Young. He's not only one of the world's finest orchestra directors, but he's a songwriter, too. And I bet all of you didn't know it was Victor Young who wrote such songs as Ghost of a Chance, Too Late, Love Me Tonight, Was I to Blame, In Love With You, The Old Man of the Mountains, and, of course, good old Sweet Sue. Well, sir, he did. And he's going to play them all for you right now in a nice medley. When he comes to Sweet Sue, Paul Taylor and his picture chorus is going to help out. It's Paul Taylor's chorus that sings in so many of the big musical pictures like the Marx Brothers picture. All right now, Victor, let's hear some of those famous songs of yours. My little pal, Victor Shellout Young.
Now, folks, comes the saddest part of this beautiful evening's entertainment. At least, it's the saddest part for me because somehow goodbyes have always affected me that way. Ever since I was a kid, I've dreaded saying goodbye to good friends, and that feeling somehow has never left me. But I guess I'm foolish because I really shouldn't be that way. Sometimes a parting is the most beautiful thing because it makes the next meeting so much more enjoyable. And I know we're going to meet again and again and again. It may not be in person, and I may not shake your hand, but I do hope it'll be over these NBC airwaves. And I prefer that it be right from this beautiful studio because I'll never forget this night. And I want to remind you folks that most of the artists who entertain you over the airwaves feel about it almost the same as I do. While you are in your comfortable homes enjoying your dinners with your loved ones beside you, we're up here at the microphone trying to make those evenings happy for you. On many occasions, we don't have the pleasure that you get, so all I can say to you is, it doesn't take long to write a letter, so why don't you invite a guy to dinner once in a while? Good night, folks, and God bless you.
The NBC Hollywood studios wish to express appreciation to Ronald Graham, Patsy Flick, and Tom Lennon, and to those who aided in the presentation of this inaugural broadcast. Musical selections included Piccolino from Top Hat, You Are My Lucky Star from Broadway Melody of 1936, Body and Soul from Three's a Crowd, and Thanks a Million from Thanks a Million. Don Wilson bidding you all good night. This program has come to you from